Well, hello everybody. What is going on in your world? It's Conor. We're back here with another Battle Lines. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. It's your first live in a couple of days, I think. Is that right? Yeah, I think it is. Check out the video from earlier on. Yeah, interested to hear what you guys think about that one. It's a spicy one indeed, and we're going to be discussing that, of course, in today's show. I think this is going to be revolved a little bit more around Leeds. I think Sheffield United they're in calm cruise control at the minute. Burnley are, it seems to be quite quiet on their end as well. Not quite right. It's not quite right saying quite quiet, is it? But and it feels like Leeds United on the other end. It's there's this drama here, there, everywhere, and we're going to be getting into that a little bit more today. I believe we're going to be joined by Joe, Turfcast Joe, as well. If you're aware of the Turfcast podcast, everybody, Joe Redmond, top lad, top content as well. But without any further ado, I'm going to bring in my top mate in the space and Blades Ramble himself, Jimmy, to give us all the lowdown on Sheffield United. I'm sure be very, very happy with what's going on as well on the red and white side of Sheffield. And welcome him now. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, pal. I'm very well indeed. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. It's definitely been a spicy day. Spicy week, really. When we're looking at it, to be honest with you, it's funny. I've got the one Leeds as Patreon, which everybody can become a part of as well in the comment section below. But they've got a WhatsApp group at the minute, or we've got a WhatsApp group, and it's kicking off left, right, and centre in terms of opinions. People on one side of the fence, then the other. And yeah, man, it's a wild space at the minute. The Wild West on the Leeds United front. On the Blades front, calm shores, everything nice over there.
Fun out, mate. Fun out. This week is okay. Yeah, that's fair to say. But look, that's football. That's fans. That's we as football fans, and we include ourselves in this, can be very fickle. And I think we all understand that. Yep. So if your club has a bad week, particularly when it's so tense at the top and it's so emotionally involved, because we all love our clubs individually, it does affect your mood and it does affect the way you react to things. And if Sheffield United go to Oxford at the weekend and drop points and are in third come Monday morning, our fan base will be up in arms as well. And it's one of those where you ride the wave now. They call it the business end of the season, don't they, for a reason. This is where it all gets sorted out. These next 7 games are everything. And at the minute, Leeds are on the ropes, but there's 21 points to play for you. And you're still in second spot. I understand it's nervy, and we'll get into it, mate. And we've got some content come out and still coming out this week that we recorded earlier this week. So we're not, I'm not here to gloat. There's plenty of that on the vids that you'll see. I wouldn't say I'm gloating either, to be fair. I think I'm quite empathetic to your situation, but because it could be me. It could just as easily be me next week. So you've got to be careful how far you go. The big news, obviously, is Yo-Yo Caldalo.
Is that a chant?
I think this is a really smart move. Whether you blame Farker for leaving it too late, whether you champion Farker for bringing him in and making the big call, it don't matter, does it? Because as a Leeds fan, and obviously it's a Leeds channel, it's predominantly Leeds chat tonight, I think.
Yeah.
They're the ones on the rocks. As a Leeds fan, you have to be pleased. There's got to be 90% of people that believe this is the right decision. Whether you blame Farker or praise him, surely that galvanizes you a little bit, not only as a fan base, but I think the team will be quite happy as well, considering how fractured it's been in terms of the relationship with Meslier. You could see it was visible that the defence had no confidence in him. And players like Joe Rodon, who play in front of Caldalo for Wales, will know what he's about and know what he can give him. It might not be spectacular, but he's certainly solid. Yeah. The only question is around his game time, but I take that every day at week over having Meslier, who you've no idea. And I don't think Meslier is a bad keeper, by the way. I know I give him some stick and I laugh, but I think it's his confidence is on the floor, and understandably so.
Yeah.
Look at the spotlight he's under. So, yeah, big news in the Leeds space, mate. I'm not going to lie, we're a little bit gutted to hear that he's coming out of the team. So maybe it works for you. Maybe it swings it back for you this weekend.
Yeah, maybe. Sai says, love Jim Bob. I think he secretly leads. I think that'll make him cringe. His toes will curl at that. You can't say that to a Wakefield man, a Sheffield United fan. He's grown
I
up.
live in enemy territory. I've got to be careful. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Making sure my windows stay intact.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah. No, I think it's a really good move. Frustrated still, have to say, about how long this has taken. But
why though? Why though, mate? Why can't you now just say, okay, I'm peeved. I'm going to swear. Then we don't swear on Blaze Ramble. I know Leeds channels can be a bit more uncouth, but we don't swear on the Blaze Ramble. So I'm going to say, why can't you just draw a line and say, I've had my meltdown. I've had my little rant, understandably so. But I don't mean you, Conor. I just mean all Leeds fans, because I know how they'll be feeling. It's happened to us before. Draw a line under it. Look, full focus now on Luton because
100%.
Because as much as it should have come earlier, or Fark has not got it right, or he's not rotating, or he's not doing anything else, this is a positive step, I would say, for Leeds. So surely that's something you've got to enjoy. Right? We talked about it it's been a big point of mine this week when we've got together and coming out of the weekend last weekend. Enjoy it while things are on an upturn, and I would say this is a positive for Leeds. So you've got to enjoy it and think that it gives you more of a chance of beating Luton than you did have if Melier were in it. So that is a positive to take into the weekend, surely.
Yeah, and look, my stance on it is, obviously we spoke about it a little bit earlier on. I think there is, how do I put this correctly? I think there's been probably a bit of pressure. I think there's an understanding from the club, media. He knew he was going to be facing a lot today.
100% agree.
Farker 100% knew that. So my kind of perspective on it is, I think he faced a lot of outside pressure to get rid of Ilan Melier. I don't actually believe he'd have got rid of Ilan Melier if there wasn't that outside pressure. However, what I will say is, I mean, earlier on I mentioned Prague potentially stepping in and having a bit of a conversation there. I've mentioned to you off air as well when it's come to Mourinho and Paul Pogba. Previously, when he was having a lot of pressure from the owners in terms of getting Pogba out of the side, Abramovich, it's happened multiple times with him. Laporta at Barcelona, this has been something which has happened with him for the best part of 5 to 7 years. It does happen, and I think people maybe are a little bit unaware of this sort of stuff happening. It's not like Prague. I don't think it's gone in and gone, get him out of the side. But I think there might have been a little bit of a conversation there where maybe Prague was a little bit frustrated. He looked a very, very frustrated figure at the weekend, according to many Leeds fans who were there. One of the last in the stadium, heads in hands and stuff. I can't imagine. We were talking a little bit earlier, Jim, when me and you did a stream, of potentially punches being thrown in that changing room, as it was for Sheffield United when it was Villa 3, Sheffield United 3. I think there could have been something similar. I think Leeds work in a very close-knit, a very close circuit where there's these honest conversations. And I think there's a real transparency and honesty between the ownership, Parag in particular, and Daniel Farke, of which Parag has admitted several times about his very, very close relationship with Daniel Farke. I think there's a transparency there. I think there's an understanding, and there would be a rhetoric, in my opinion, that after games, there would have been a conversation. Now, I'm not solely saying that's why he'd have got rid of Ilan Melier, but I think there's a culmination here of outside pressure, the combination of media scrutiny, maybe the owners, just generally outside pressures being a bit of a thumb on the head of Daniel Farke, of which he had to get him out now. And I think maybe this was the last straw. And, you look at January and them offering him a goalkeeper, him saying no. I think there would have been a frustration from board level. I think there's going to be a frustration as well at the fact that the board are probably very concerned, which was visible at the weekend, that Leeds right now have won 1 game in 5. Our opponents, one is on screen right now, 5 in 6, 4 in 6 wins. And I think there will have been a little bit of a conversation potentially, not a warning to Farke, but come on, let's think about this a little bit more now. And I don't think that's out of the realms of possibility, Jim. I think that does happen in football a little bit more than people think.
So if you think about how upset you are with Leeds' downturn in form and how frustrated you are with Meslier,
Yeah.
that is one fan's opinion, but you can probably say, no matter how big a Meslier fan you are, the majority of Leeds fans will be fuming at the last. Well, whenever he drops one, obviously, but in terms of it's time now, and you've heard that from the most staunch Meslier defenders, and obviously I don't speak to every Leeds fan, but I see a lot of Leeds content, and everybody is in agreement. It's time for a change, and he should have taken that goalkeeper option when he was offered it in January. So if you look at it from Parag's point of view, you've got the emotional investment as fans, which I'm sure he's got a little bit of now that he's bought into the club. But how much money is he set to lose? It's not just emotional attachment here. What is he set to lose? You're talking tens of millions. If Leeds don't get promoted, it's tens of millions of pounds. So there's no. If people think that he's just going to stay, particularly if they've got a good relationship as well, if people think he's just going to stay silent on it, they're very naive. And that doesn't mean he's come and he said, you have to drop Meslier.
No.
That doesn't mean that at all. And that's not what you've said. I appreciate that. Look, calling it as it is, you've taken some stick today online after your video in terms of suggesting that Parag's picking the team. That is not what you said, but that is what happens when fan bases are emotional and feelings get blown out of proportion. People hear a clip of something you said, and they will run with that as, well, Conor's now saying that the board are picking the team. So how can you blame Farke for anything? Because they've been picking the team all along. And, you know, if he backs the 49ers, but they've put Meslier in net for all the... It's a load of rubbish. That's not what you said at all. And it's so easy to get taken out of context. So it was frustrating for me to see that today when you had a soundbite taken and it blown well out of proportion, because I think what you said was right. There's a strong chance, and even if it doesn't, it hasn't been overtly said, Mellier's what you know, you're running a risk keeping Meslier. He will know that if he sticks with Meslier and you don't get promoted, it's his job. It's his job. It is clear to everyone that he has cost you points, particularly just recently, obviously. So if he doesn't change it, it's neglect of his duty as manager. He's got to change something, because if he sticks with it and Meslier drops another against Luton, or they put too much pressure on him and he doesn't collect a ball that he should from a set piece or something, and it's an easy little nod in for Carlton Morris, then it's Farke again on the chopping block. And Farke should know that, and he will know that. He's not a daft man. So he's made the choice, whether it's under pressure that's been said or been felt, or it's just a choice that he's come to that said, look, I've put my neck on line for this kid, and it's just not working. I've tried my best. I've tried to give him the confidence by sticking with him, and I'm going to change it. Whatever has happened behind the scenes, you should be happy as a fan base. And I'm not telling anybody what to do here, because everybody has their own opinion, and that's what makes it so great, and that's what allows us to do what we do, Con, because people have different opinions on it. But
of course,
if I'm a Leeds fan, I'm happy that this change has been. As a Sheffield United fan, one of your rivals for promotion, I prefer Meslier in goal for you, because I know that you're getting someone who's low on confidence and has a chance of dropping something. Whereas Carl Darlow, international goalkeeper, yes, he's a bit older, but you talk about his form for Hull. Did he play 12 games for Hull in the season that he got Player of the Year?
Yeah.
That's some going in it. And I know that were a couple of seasons ago, but I just think, come on, can't you try and now put a positive spin on it rather than keep falling out in lumps as a fan base? And I understand it because of the emotion involved, but it's last chance saloon. This he keeps calling it crunch time, doesn't he? And he's right. He's right. 7 games to go. Everything to play for. Head down and go. That's what we're trying to do. So I think you just need to. It's easy to get skewed by, frustration. But if you step back and look at the bigger picture, you're still in a really strong spot. So maybe this is the turning point for you.
Yeah, 100%, and that's right. And look, oh, Joe's trying to get in now. Here we go.
Oh, don't let him in. It's story of Burnley's season, isn't it? Top 2 are trying to have a chat, and here come Burnley.
Did I say, I must have sent you the link separately.
No, you didn't. You put it in.
Did I?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll get him in. We're hold on, guys. Send a link and I'll dive on. Right, okay, Joe, we sent you a link, mate.
You just couldn't be scrolling up.
And this was it. You know, it was. I think, to be honest, Jim, it was a culmination a little bit earlier on of frustration still, and almost the level that the manager was coming in on, and he was saying, you know, he was talking, you know, and the playoffs were mentioned, and he doesn't want us to be in the playoffs, and some were deeming it calculated and cool. I think there's still just this feeling from me that we should be nowhere near that. And I still look at him and the decisions that he's made as the reason that we're kind of just teetering on that basis, really, on that brink. So yeah, but you know, in the video earlier, in specifically we're talking about, it was passionate, but I still want positivity. I still want us to go forward, and I still want us to look at this change, and let's hope it's right, and let's hope we see more of Ramazani. Let's hope we see more of Nonton. I know you guys won't want that, but the squad needs to be managed a lot more effectively. And if he does that going into this weekend, fantastic. And we can all turn around and say, look, Farke got it right. But, you know, Farke should be getting this right, in my opinion, with this squad. And I think that's what it's down to right now. And look, yeah, good positive change ahead of the weekend. But yeah, I hope for a few more in there, and let's hope we can get forward with it a little bit.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think it's a positive change for you, and I'm not happy with it. So that should tell you all you need to know, shouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Captain Blade says, up the blades, up the ramble.
Captain Blade.
If you think Prague may drop Melier, are you having a laugh?
This is what I mean.
No, mate, I don't. No, that's no. That's not what it was, mate. That's not what it was. Hopefully we've addressed that a little bit more, though. Footy Fanatic says Carl Darlow, I think, will help by not being a bottle job like Melier, but also him being there should reassure the back line. This is when you know it's bad. This is when you know it's bad, when you're getting Sheffield United fans feeling sorry for Leeds.
we don't feel sorry for you, but we're in almost the same spot, aren't we? I know form is okay, good for us, but it can change like that. It can change in an instant.
Of course.
While you were riding high, 5 points clear of us, 8 points clear of Burnley, you're now on the slide a little bit, and we don't know when that slide will stop. It might stop this weekend. So that's why we can't go too hard on you, because chances are there's any of the three teams could be third come Sunday night or Saturday night. So there's a long way to go yet. A long way to go.
No, you're right. Let's get into a few more comments. You won't lose to Oxford. No chance. Easy victory. Can't see Sheffield dropping.
You'd have said that against Swansea, though, wouldn't you? Leeds at home to Swansea.
Hello, sir.
Evening, lads.
Oh, look at him going in middle.
What's going on?
Sure, I'll go in the middle. All right, Joey.
Get me in the middle.
How are we, gents?
All right, mate. How are you?
Pal? We're just saying it's a
good.
Typical Burnley. Third place, trying to squeeze into top two.
We're arriving late to the stream. We're arriving late to the promotion.
Is this how it's going to finish, by the way? Us two on top and
oh, God.
Leeds third.
You about to boot me out?
Well, we'll wait to end the season, mate. You might go playoffs. Break that playoff curse.
Oh, God. Joe, I wanted to get your reaction. We've had Jim's reaction on Ilan Melier being dropped. What are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think it's the right decision for you lot. I'm surprised Farke's done it in the way that he's done it, but thinking about it, I think he wants to give the fans a lift. He wants to give the players a boost, and I think that's the way he's done it, Yeah. I think I saw your tweets earlier, obviously some of the stuff you put in the WhatsApp group where you were saying that's it, he's done now. And I think with the way that Farke's done it, I can't see how he bounces back from this, but I think it is Darlow now for the end of the season. And it's the right decision. Let's have it right. It's the right decision. As much as me and Jimmy were, giving it to you and sort of like saying, oh, we gutted, he's made that decision. He's made the right decision. He's probably made it about 6 months too late, though, to be fair.
It's all your fault, mate. It's all your fault for some reason.
I don't think he means me.
Who would you start in the centre of midfield Saturday? Good question, Aaron. Good question. We'll get onto that a little bit later on down the line, mate. But yeah, Burnley. Quick pivot. How are you doing? How are you doing up there? You enjoying life? Just slowly deciding to creep into form at the back end of the season?
Most informed team in the division now over the last 6 games, because obviously I think you guys beat Sheffield United 6 games ago.
Go back a little bit
I don't want to go back a bit further. It's always done within 6 games blocks.
Yeah. So
we are the most informed team
where Burnley
as
is seen as the best.
As it stands. So yeah, we're happy. Obviously, we've got a tough game at the weekend.
Yeah.
Come out of that with 3 points. And I think if there's anybody out there that isn't taking it seriously anymore, they will start taking it seriously if we go to the CBS and win.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean,
if
Jim mentioned it. Yeah, Jim mentioned it earlier on when we were in person, of which is Sky from Joe, that he reckons that he's pretty not confident as such, but he's kind of looking at that game in particular and thinking that's maybe where both of us, if we actually decide to win and get back to maybe what we once were, we're able to maybe make up points on you, mate. Is he kind of just looking at that as maybe I was as a Leeds fan weeks ago, and Jim is now, obviously, where it's kind of like you're going into it in like flow state, really, where you're going in there and pretty confident of a win.
I won't say I'm confident of a win. If you had to ask me who I think wins, I think we will have too much for Coventry. I know Sheffield United were fantastic against them, to be fair. First time they played well this season, may I add. But
tell me you don't watch a team without telling me you don't watch a team.
What I will say is, I thought the way that Sheffield United contained them and the way that Coventry were quite poor at the back has given me a bit more confidence than what I was actually before that game, weirdly enough. Whereas obviously I wanted Coventry to win that, but watching Coventry lose it in the manner that they did has given me more confidence, that we will have enough to beat them. Confident, no, but it's like we've won at Ellen Road, we've won at Bramall Lane. They're two better teams than Coventry.
Say that more. You say that in every stream.
I'll say it every week, mate. When I'm back next week, I'll say it next week as well. So I think
would you take a draw, Joe?
No, you can't, can you? You can't anymore because the other two just win every week, pretty much. If we draw, for example, we're then 2 points behind Leeds and potentially 7 behind you, and it's too much. You're at the stage of the season now where you can't take draws. You need to win every single game, or at least try and win every single game.
Wonder who Simon Plowman's a fan of.
Shout out to you, Ty. Emmett says there is 10 players. I met Emma at Ellen Road as well. Emma Ellen Road is a difficult thing to say. Yeah, shout out to you, Emmett. There is 10 players in front of Darlow who really need to have a chat with themselves and throw off the shackles. Emmett's bang on. I mean,
where did you meet Emmett?
I'm not saying that again. I need a tea as well. The missus ain't giving me a tea. I'd love a tea.
Ridiculous. She's here now. She's here. Just took you down there.
I thought she was in there. But yeah, I think he's right. I think when you look at Leeds just pivoting back to the player one centre of attention, Leeds United, it does feel like we're like, if we're all brothers and sisters, Leeds United are the ones who always like want attention. We're always the one trying to get mum and dad's attention. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, correct.
You two are just the quiet kids in the back.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
we're the mature ones.
Yeah, exactly. But it does feel like it's not just Darlow, it's not just that, and that's why I'm absolutely crying out for a little bit of rotation in the front four as the manager. I mean, I'll throw something at you both here, and this might, I put it out as a tweet the other day, lads. Ian Fleming, 4 goal contributions in 4. Tyrese Campbell, 4 goals in 5. Joel Peru, 1 goal contribution in 7. Brendan Aronson, 2 goals in 2025. Dan James, 1 goal contribution in 5. Manor Solomon, 1 goal in 12. It feels like with effective rotation, Burnley, and in particular Sheffield United, I keep using Sheffield United as the example, Joe, as well, because Sidibe Peck, Chowdhury, Vinny Souza in that little bit, Ryan Brewster, Callum O'Hare, Andre Brooks, Raksaki, effect, in a sense, you could say Tom Cannon and Ty Campbell, but Brereton Diaz, another one. Yeah, Ben Brereton Diaz. It feels like it feels like rotating your players has just kind of come. It's got to a stage right now where there's players who are fresh, they're chomping at the bit, and they're ready for that final furlong. And I'm hoping now with Daniel Farke, with 7 left, this is the point of which it starts to change for Leeds United. But we know, and this is what we've spoken about before, me and Jim had a chat about it, match fitness is a big thing, isn't it? And being able to play yourself into form over a succession of games is also a big thing. But right now, the pressure's on.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think we're the exact opposite at the minute, to be fair. Like, we're not looking for rotation. We've found sort of like kind of like a formula that is kind of working at the minute. Obviously, Edwards is massive to that, but even Jaden Anthony started playing well. Although, to be fair, he did have a bit of an off game against Bristol City. He played well, other than in front of goal. That game, by the way, we should have won 3-4-0. We were really, really good. But it's one of them things. We're just in the moment now where we've got something that's working, so I don't particularly want too much rotation from a Burnley perspective, if I'm honest.
Jim?
I think I'm pretty sure it was the first unchanged lineup of the season against Coventry, and I think he might go with it again, but we've had an 8-day break. It's a 3-game week now that we're going into, so I think there will be some rotation over the next few games. So whether that he starts to sort of drip feed that in now, I'm not sure. But the way we played against Coventry, I see, and now an 8-day break between the games.
Yeah,
I don't see why you would change it necessarily, because we're in that phase, which we should be as one of the stronger teams in the division, as Leeds should be in most of their games, as Burnley should be in most of theirs. It's not really what problems are the opposition going to cause us. It's more a case of how we're going to impose our game on the opposition. Obviously, you've got to be aware of their strengths.
Yeah,
but I think it's more a case of us deciding how we're going to attack the game rather than reacting to our opponents. So I expect us to be unchanged this time, and that'll mean Ryan Brewster in the 10. The thing is, Callum O'Hare will come off the bench. You know, Tom Cannon will come off the bench. We've got really strong players now. Kiefer Moore will be on the bench. All these sort of things that you think we're looking quite strong now. Vinny Souza might even be on the bench coming back from injury at the weekend. So yeah, we're looking okay at the moment. We're not counting anything until it's obviously a little bit further on. But yeah, we're confident. We're confident, and so we should be. Form we're in.
When you're looking at Leeds, both of you right now, what are you seeing? Joe, I'll come to you first, mate, because obviously me and Jim have spoken about this a lot. But what is it? Is it just a simple case? I can't handle that man cackling too much on this stream.
just mute him, mate. Just mute him.
Yeah. I'm trying to just relinquish any sort of control there and give it to you two in terms of this narrative. But is it? Do you think it really is a case of Leeds falling apart again, or do you think, oh God, there's a twinge, just like one of those
you've
things.
You've had one bad game. The way I look at it, you've had one bad game. You should have beaten Swansea, let's not deny that. And the way you drew the match was pretty poor. And yes, I may have dived on the Leeds forward thing again.
I push back on you there, mate. I don't know if it's been one.
Well, to be fair, I've not watched you as much as you have, but I feel like you've had one bad game.
You're on the battle lines now, mate. So start stepping it up, lad. All right.
I'm not full time like you boys. I have an actual job. But
fair.
I do feel like I've been consistent with Leeds. I feel like you're the best team in the division.
Whoa,
You've got the best players.
What, have you not got a table where you are?
I'll never get my answers out with Jimmy.
Have you not seen championship table anywhere, Joe?
If you look at all the metrics and everything else, there's one problem.
Yeah, like the table
and
the points.
So let's see where you are at after your next couple of games. Now you've dropped the thing that was holding you back a little bit, especially in your last match.
Yeah. No, I think. Yeah, I
don't know where this blind hatred for Sheffield United comes from, Joe, by the way.
Who hates Sheffield United? Who hates Sheffield United? I couldn't give a shit about you. I do not hate Sheffield United. I do not hate Sheffield United.
Subscribe to the Blades Ramble.
You're pushing this narrative now, then you get these clowns in comments who'll dive on it. I don't hate Sheffield United.
Yeah, you clowns. Put a clown emoji in the comments if you agree with Joe, or you think Joe's a clown. Let's get the clown emojis in there.
This is my last appearance on Battle Line, I think. unless Jimmy's not on it next week, I'll come on it.
I've been sacked for Joe.
He's been binned off, rattling too many cages.
Jason Darling thinks you're a clown. Simon Plowman thinks you're a clown.
He's
footy fanatic up the Blades. Thinks you're a clown.
Footy fanatic. He's the biggest clown on here. Giving it bigger in a comment earlier on.
Tell you what. Subscribe to Turfcast while you're here.
Shez says only Wednesday hate Chef U. I think you've said it to me as well, mate. You've said to me before that I hate Chef United. I don't hate Chef United.
I hate Sheffield United. I don't know where this has come from. Jimmy's just sensitive because I don't blow smoke up Sheffield United's arse the same way I probably kind of do for Leeds. So I just think he's sensitive.
Who do you hate more, Joe? Leeds or Sheffield United, or dislike more?
I don't hate either side. I respect
Geneva.
both clubs. I
Geneva.
don't. Why would I hate you? Well, I don't get it. Why would I hate Blades?
Who's best
Why
team
would
in
I
league,
hate
Joe?
Blades?
Who's best team?
Sorry?
Who's best team in league?
That's a different debate. Why would I hate them?
Give Sheffield United a compliment.
You've got the best song in the country.
Oh, behave.
What? The Greasy Chip Butty song. It's the best song. It's the best pre-game song in the country, in my opinion.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is. Can we hide Wonderful Life from the comments, please? And any of the mods, can we get rid of him?
Can I just ask as well, Jim? What's your dad's favourite anthem, as you put the other day?
No, keep Wonderful Life. Conor, put that on screen. Clip it up. Wonderful Life. You are my guy, mate. You are my guy.
Jim, what is it? What's your dad's
And I didn't beg for that either, by the way, like you did.
You're doing what other people have been doing to you. That's not nice. That's not nice, Conor. I told you in confidence that Andy the Blade thinks that Marching On Together is a good pre-game anthem. That's what I said to you. I didn't say it was, oh, Andy the Blade loves it. He loves it. It's the best in the game. No, Greasy Chip Butty, we all know is the best.
Well, okay.
I said he rates it as an anthem for a team because you were trying to sing it when I was singing Leeds Are Falling Apart.
Right. Well, can I say, I think the hatred for each other's clubs on here, I don't hate either of you. Joe's established that he doesn't hate Sheffield United or Leeds.
It's just Jimmy being sensitive. It's just Jimmy being sensitive.
I'm just a realist.
Jimmy's the oldest, Max the youngest.
I think you're the one. Thank you.
Can I have a brew as well, please?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Jim, do you want a brew?
Mine's cold. Mine's gone cold now.
Come here a sec.
Look at that long.
Come here a sec.
Trying to get views up now.
Come on.
Nobody wants to see three middle-aged blokes on stream.
Right,
get his girlfriend in.
Well, yeah, okay. Do you want a tea, fellas?
I'll have a tea. Please.
What a ridiculous conversation. What a ridiculous conversation.
I'll take it.
Have sugar in it.
2 sweeteners, please.
2 sweeteners? Jim, how do you have it?
I don't have 2 sweeteners. I have 1 sugar in mine.
Jim has 1 sugar.
In a coffee, not a tea.
You have sugar in a coffee?
That's terrible. Anyway, we need to get back onto football.
You have sweeteners.
In tea, because tea tastes too bitter, but coffee, I like the way
very
it tastes.
Sweet. It's going to be sweet when you finish third, pal. That's what's going to be sweet.
See, there's the hatred, and that's where it comes from. There's only one person in here.
Yeah, you got it out of it.
He's so bitter that we won the league 3 years ago. And 2009.
And I'd have got away with it if it wasn't for you.
A bitter old man.
Old? I'm not 41 till next week, I'll have you know.
51 more like.
I thought you were 37. Anyway, Mike,
it's the grey that gives it away at sides.
Mike says, I feel like this has turned into loose men. We could do the screen falling apart. Yeah,
I think that's when I get to 50. I've become a loose man.
I don't like the sound of that.
So I'm told.
Men.
It's fallen apart since you came on, Joe, just so you know.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy saw me and his heart rate started going. It's like, the git, I
could feel it. I could feel the green coming across screen.
Chat, just
no one's jealous of you.
Chat, just so you know, Joe is how I could deal with Jim week to week, but I've had to build up this sort of shield presence to Jim.
Everybody hates Jim. Everybody hates Jim.
Wow!
That's Joe's words, not mine.
Unbelievable.
To be honest, when I met him at the Football Content Awards, he was dead sound, but around you, I don't know if he just shows off or what. He's in something.
I want to impress Conor. That's what it is. Got to keep in with him. He's got 42,000 subs.
You make me giddy and all shy. Right, it's back onto football.
Okay.
Why is Zian Fleming and Tyrese Campbell playing well? Will they ever stop playing well?
At the minute? I thought Tyrese Campbell took his goal very well against Coventry, may I add. Nice, just opened his foot brilliantly, slotted it in the back of the net. Real finish. Obviously, can't comment too much on how he's playing other than that. But Zian Fleming, don't know, like he's not playing well, but he's scoring goals. It's weird. Like I've said to you before, he's not a number 9 and he's being played as a number 9. So I do sometimes feel sorry for him. He's being played out of position, but he's scoring goals at the minute, and that's what you want from him when you're playing in that position.
Yeah. 100%. I think what I'd absolutely love is right now someone to just put the ball down and whip the ball into the top corner. That'd be lovely. I've seen
we've got one of them. We've got one of them.
I know, and I don't know why we've not got someone who can do that. That'd be nice.
Can't Ethan Ampadu do it? Can Jaden Bogle do that?
You've got to stop focusing on these two. Every stream we do, it's these two, and I wonder why.
I don't mind Ampadu, to be fair. I just think he's overrated, whereas Bogle...
Yeah, don't say what you actually feel about Bogle here. Just United says, love the content, guys, but one question out of your entire squad, which one player has gone under the radar this season, most underrated?
Good question, Ricky.
God.
Good question.
Melier.
Yeah, can I vote for Melier as well, please?
Can I vote for Melier then?
He's been such a strong player.
He's been our best player. He's been our best player as Melier this year.
He has. He's done absolute wonders, hasn't he, for you? I'd say Rothwell for us, probably.
If I had to be serious and choose someone, I would probably say Jadon Anthony, because he started off pretty slowly, and obviously he came from you as well, and didn't really rip up any trees with you. Obviously, we had a similar target to what you did last season, getting out of the league. So I weren't overly enthused.
Joe, it pulls back again to what me and Jim were talking about earlier before you got on the stream. It's Anthony showed flashes. You know, he came up against Chelsea, he scored a wonder goal against Watford for us. You know, he showed flashes of it, but this is kind of where the frustration is again. He's then burnt out to be, or he's then depicted to be absolutely garbage. And it's like, well, with effective rotation minutes, mate, I was looking at his numbers the other day. Jadon Anthony had 430 minutes for Leeds across the season. 430 minutes. Like,
to be fair.
And you look at Conor Roberts, another one. Roberts just didn't.
He's been brilliant this season, as he always is in a Burnley shirt in the Championship, at least.
100%. That's
I like him as a player. He's a good player, Conor Roberts.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean with it. Really, it's rotation. I don't know if Roberts or and it's not to say Archie Gray would have come out, by the way, but Archie Gray was a midfielder, and it'd have been lovely to see Archie Gray in central midfield and a little bit of fluctuation between Gruev and Kamara. So yeah, I think there could have been a bit more rotation there as well, and that's maybe where a lot of Leeds fans are still a little bit frustrated at it. But yeah,
I think for us it'd be Sidney Peck. Because it's not a name that jumps off the page at a lot of players who don't watch a lot of Sheffield United.
I thought he was class as well, by the way, on Friday night.
Absolutely.
Jim was right, to be fair. He's I like him a lot.
Well, you're not going to know that, are you, if you don't watch him regular. And I remember a little bit leading up to Leeds game, you was Sidney Peck. Who's he going? He's going to go up against Tanaka, and I'm telling you, he's a player. He's a player.
Jim, it's because, and Joe will know this. If you're winding me up and I'm winding you up, I've got
Jim winding somebody up. I'm not having that. He's not that type of guy.
He can't do that.
He's winding somebody
up. Cannot do that. The game has gone.
Jim, I've got to viscerally defend some of my players. Probably at that point, you were probably calling Ampadu crap. So I had to
How did he play last game?
And then this is what you do. And then you pick out a certain game and you're like, how did you play in the last game? It's like,
how did he play? How did Ampadu play?
He wasn't great.
Yeah, it was crap. It was crap, you said. There you go.
Well, does that mean he's a crap player overall? It doesn't.
I think he's overrated. It's certainly, when I'm talking to Conor McGilligan, he's overrated. Chuffing second coming as Zidane sometimes. It's ridiculous.
Right, well, there we go. Now, City
like you thought Melier were Neuer at one point, but
that's it. Well, now
thank God Parag's picking team now, because if he weren't, then we'd be struggling.
Farag in, Parker out. So, Joe, how are you feeling, mate? How are you feeling? Like, is it? Would you say Burnley right now are almost in? Is it like what I said to Jim earlier on? Is it flow state? Is it the case of? You've got some tough games coming up. I was having a look, and my God, we have tough games now, especially with the flow state we're apparently in or not in. But Derby away when we did
word of the day.
When we did fixtures together, though, Derby was the point of which I thought you'd lose. I thought that was going to be the 1-0 Derby. Coventry, I think Jim had you to drop points as well when we did that fixture discussion. Your next two coming up, have you got any worries? Or are you kind of looking at it, taking a step back and going, do you know what? We might slip up a little bit, but when you're looking at the team in second now, that's a little bit of sort of a big up for us as well, because we might slip, but that doesn't mean Leeds are going to capitalise.
Yes, I mean, there is that side of it now. Like, I'm not as worried now that you guys are going to win every single week. Well, especially Leeds at the minute with the state that you're in. However, I do think this Melier being dropped will increase, confidence and stuff like that amongst the fan base and the players. I think for us, and for me especially, I can only speak for myself, I'm not nervous or anything about it. Not because I expect us to do it, but the same thing of what I said last week. We're the team in third, we're the team chasing the other two. So it's not a case of now being nervous and looking over my shoulder. I'm like excited and thinking, if we beat Coventry, that's a massive statement made. If we get 6 points out of our next 2 games, you two and all the rest of the Blades and Leeds fans will be panicking like mad. But whether I think we do or not is a different debate. I think it's going to be difficult. But yeah, I'm not nervous or anything. And just to say, yeah, about the floor state, as you keep saying, Conor, we're obviously in a decent bit of form at the minute, but the next 2 games are very difficult.
Are you confident?
I don't. It's bizarre. I think Coventry. They are better
United.
at home. I stopped myself from saying the sentence. That's why I didn't say United. But again, he's being sensitive again. But they're very different. They're very different at home. So let's see how we get on. And like I said, just take each game as it comes.
Yeah,
I wouldn't take a draw though because of what I said earlier. Draws.
We get 6 points at home. You'll all be really scared. Well, you haven't, have you yet? We'll wait and see how you do against Coventry.
We can't do it until we play them, can we?
No, you can't. And I am really looking. In fact, watch along on Blades. I don't know if you're doing one, Con. I don't mean to rival you. Watch along on the Blades Ramble. We're doing a split one actually. We're doing a split one.
Oh yeah,
yeah. George's going to be watching Leeds Luton.
Oh God,
Luton Leeds.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching.
It Leeds Luton on the same time as Burnley, Coventry. Burnley.
Correct. That's why it's a split one. Otherwise, we do it as 2 separate times.
The thing is,
means, if I'm being honest with you.
The thing is, Joe, a lot of the time when we play at the same time as Burnley, which is actually very rare, I think the last time we played at the same time, you strolled to a 2-0 win away at Swansea, where Swansea, I think,
they're easy though, aren't they?
Had a busload of fans in the stadium, didn't really turn up, and then the Swans come to Ellen Road and decide to crank it up a notch. Manager's pretty much doing somersaults when they score.
Everybody ups the game against Leeds, though, don't they, Conor?
Right, well, everybody's cup final, Joe. Everybody's cup final.
100%.
Biggest sides in country, he was saying not so long since.
Yeah, do you not think so, Jim?
No, I don't. No,
right. Okay.
I think Jimmy's in a bad mood tonight, innit? There's something wrong with
Jimmy.
Do
you know what? This is one of the most enjoyable.
You've had a row with Mrs., haven't you, Jimmy?
I'm happy. We're top of league, mate. Nothing to be upset about. That's like saying Derby County are one of the biggest sides in league in England. It's just you can't.
Is it? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Didn't realise Sheffield FC were in the Championship. This will
Correct.
be great if all teams
Spelled word wrong, by the way.
Spelled wrong. Connor,
I never said that, by the way. Footy fanatic giving it bigger in comments again. That's Jimmy's alter ego, that, isn't it?
Who is this Jimmy's burner account? Who is
Yeah, I'm just on it. Just give it.
Who is he? Dormston says, Connor, I believe that we'll get 18 points from our remaining games. Lads, Leeds, do you think Leeds will do it or not? And it's obviously it'll be at the detriment of one of you. Do you think Leeds United are genuinely going to finish in the top 2, or do you think it's problem settings? Now, Jim, you were very, very, very steadfast in Leeds United winning the league, and you going up with us. That's what you believed. Joe, you've said Leeds are the best side. I still believe Leeds are going up. I listened to Benjamin Bloom not long ago. Ben actually came on the channel, and Ben was saying,
Top man, Ben Bloom.
Yeah, Ben was saying, I don't see the panic from outside like you guys have inside, and then it started to go wrong as soon as me and Ben had that stream, really. So it felt like it was almost a bit of a premonition, an unexpected one. But is it do you think Leeds will get promoted, or do you think it's going to be you two now?
You can make a really strong argument for all 3 teams, and I think you can make a strong argument.
You can flip a coin. You can pick 2 names out of a hat, and nobody will be like, "That's well wrong." That it's so hard to call, and I wouldn't want to stick my neck on the line. Like I did say 3-4 weeks ago, I was confident, relatively confident we'd finish second. Nice one, Footy fanatic. See what I mean? This guy, I'm sick of him. I don't know what it is. It's no Jimmy. It's you being a prat. That's your fault being a prat.
That's
giving me grief.
Why is he being a prat?
Yes, you are.
You're
being a prat.
He's not bringing you some advice.
I don't want advice. No, I don't want advice.
Go on. What are you
I can't
saying?
remember what I was saying now because the two Pratts have ruined my floor state.
Do my head in. You do my head in.
Got me on my flow state.
Flow state. Yeah, flow state.
No, so do you genuinely think so you think it could still be any of us? Because if I,
Yeah, 100%. Of course it can be any of us. Burnley have got 2 tough games coming up. You've got winnable game at Luton. Leeds are going to beat Oxford.
It's not a given, is it? It's not a given. You've got to enjoy it while you're on top because it is so tight. It's so tight. And I'll be honest, Con, if I were to tell you I think Leeds are going to go up or I think Leeds are going to stay down, it'd just be for the sake of it now because I genuinely do not know. I had an idea leading it before you dropped points against Swansea. Yeah, I was confident you were going to win league. And now, then I thought they didn't play well at all against Swansea. And is that mentality shifting now? Are they starting to wobble and it's starting to affect them? So
I agree with that.
Could have been argued that Leeds will finish third. I can still make that argument, but then he's come out today saying he's going to make a really strong and it is a really strong decision from.
This is why I feel like it's flipped it. And I think Clark's played a blinder there. Leeds fans won't like giving him compliments, but I feel like the way that he's done this with Meslier,
I agree,
might flip it back in Leeds' favour.
I'm not. Well, it could cause a reaction from them, couldn't it? So you can see all 3 of us winning this weekend. You could see Burnley dropping points. Does that mean Burnley at worst at 3? No, it means they've got the hardest fixture of the 3. I think, to be honest. So it's a roller coaster, boys, isn't it? Let's be right, and I'm enjoying it.
Let's enjoy it, just like Wilder says. Let's enjoy it,
like Wilder says.
Like Wilder says, just enjoy yourself. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still not there yet, lads.
You're not.
Your red's fallen off this week, to be fair. I've been looking at some of your tweets and I've been worried about you, Conor. I've been thinking about texting you. I'm like, are you all right, mate? That tweet where you said, it's Sheffield United have got to ruin it. It's between us and Burnley. I'm like, bloody hell. Calm down, mate. Anybody can win it from here.
The thing is, we've had chats on this before. And unfortunately, from the stem of our chats, it's just gone downhill. And look, you can do this whole calm down thing. This, unfortunately, with us has been a pattern, a problem.
Yeah, to be fair,
and it's been a problem. So this point last season, 3 wins in 11. Do you think it is a mentality thing, or do you think it's just down to squad? I personally think the mentality thing's a bit of an excuse. I think there's a lot more to it. Jim said we're not a big club either, so it can't be that. So,
whoa. So you said Parag picks the team, and he has some done from the start of the season.
He does.
If we're clipping up stuff that weren't true, then who did Parag pick this weekend?
Oh, you flipped.
Well, I never said Leeds weren't a big club. I scoffed at you saying they were one of the biggest clubs in the country.
Okay, fair enough. But do you think it's more of a mentality thing, or do you genuinely believe it's just maybe like a lack of rotation through this season and Meslier been in the side? Or do you think there is actually a mental problem with Leeds United? Like, we just can't get it over the line? Because I think that's just more of an excuse. Surely there's players in there. And even when we look to Carl Darlow, lads, and you can even just boil it down to the 15 internationals that we had go away with the side. They're playing in front of massive crowds. How are they failing under pressure at Leeds United? Like, it shouldn't be happening, surely.
Oh, yes. I'm just reading some comments. Joe, enjoy it next season with Benjamin Bloom.
Yeah, we know that. We've established that's your account, mate. And that's the second time he's cracked that joke, by the way. So you need to think of something else, mate.
I'll tell you what, put it a third time, I'll laugh again. I think, do you know what? In terms of
Joe's not even listening, is he? Just reading the comments.
I don't know. To be honest, I wasn't even on the comments.
Now. His head's gone.
So, if you say it, it's true, Jim. If you keep saying it, it's true. His head's gone, so my head must be gone. Only head that's gone is yours. As soon as I joined, you were fuming.
Don't get like that. But the thing about the mentality thing, it was something that me and Joe mentioned when we were at the Brotherhood Arms. We were talking about it then, and that was our thing. That was the thing that we sort of were clinging on to at the time. Yeah. The only thing is, if Leeds have a bit of a wobble, they have got a history of it. And I don't tend to, I don't see the sense in it because it's a different group of players and a different management team and all this sort of thing. But if you believe in like bogey teams, which tends to be true, then there might just be something in a club mentality, if you know what I mean. So, like, we can't play Walsall without getting beat, which is ridiculous because we're a better side than Walsall. But they beat us 3 times in the same season. I think it were in the 100-point season that they beat us 3 times. So it's one of those weird things that Leeds may well be the victims of because you've gone so well this season, and at the final throws, you are putting so much pressure on yourselves. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting.
I think it's a thing. I agree. I know you're saying it's an excuse, Conor. I think it's a thing. I used the perfect example last time out when the England shirt, when they get to a final, it's just a block and they can't get it over the line. I'm not saying you can't get it over the line, but it's the shirt just weighs heavy. And it's not just that. The players are thinking, then they take an extra think, then they make mistakes. The fans get anxious, and obviously Ellen Road's always packed out. And I think it's a thing. I don't think it's just an excuse. I think you can get past it with good mentality and doing things properly. But at the minute, it seems to be like it not. I don't think it will happen again. But there's something there at the minute. Leeds do not draw that game 6 weeks ago, for example.
No, I agree. I agree. I think you're right there. Let's just get into some of the weekend fixtures as well to round off. You guys let us know what you think in the comment section below as well. And then, yeah, we've spoken about it a little bit earlier, haven't we, when it's come to it? But these are the fixtures. Blackburn, Borough. I'm not looking forward to playing Borough. I'm not looking forward to playing Luton.
You were quite confident about the Borough game before Swansea.
Yeah, you were.
I think you said Luton were the one that you were more worried about, but Borough, you think you'll beat them. But I think they're 2 tough fixtures as well. I know a lot of people are going on about Coventry and Derby. I think Luton and Borough are 2 tough fixtures.
Yeah, I think the big thing as well with regards to that is Sheffield have now got obviously an away game, and then they're back at home, aren't they? So obviously like us and Burnley are away. To be honest, lads, before we actually get onto this, I actually think the Leeds, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but do you think now there's something to be said for Leeds being almost lucky that we're away from Ellen Road, away a little bit from that anxiety, that pressure? Do you think there's something there?
Yeah,
yes,
I do.
But Kenilworth Road's very, very tight, isn't it? So I'm not sure how that will affect you, and if the Luton fans, especially if Luton score first and Luton get on top and the fans get on top of you.
Where do you want us to play? Where do you want us to play, Joe? A park?
Well, it's practically a park, isn't it, Kenilworth Road, to be fair. Completely agree with T1MM1 in the comments, by the way.
Timmy!
Right, back onto the fixtures. Okay, so
hide and remove user from channel. The mods want to do their thing.
Do you think, mods? Coventry versus Burnley. Burnley with a 39% chance of winning. Obviously, Coventry in 5th. Jim, bounce back or no bounce back?
Burnley.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Cov going to bounce back against? But yeah, I think they will.
Yeah,
I think they might. I think Coventry might nick this. You know,
because you were saying they were really poor against you. And
I think we made them look poor. I don't think they're a poor side. I think we made them look poor because we were so good. And that's a rarity, to be fair. That does sound like an arrogant comment, but it is a rarity this season. I think it's fair to say it was probably our best performance of the season against Coventry. And that's why we're so excited, because hopefully it's the turning point for us. I say Coventry will nick something. Burnley, if you've been beat twice this season, unbeaten in 26, I think the most likely outcome we can hope for is a draw.
Yeah, I think it's upsetting that we keep saying Burnley are going to drop points or like just lose games. And,
this is a really tough game though, and Coventry have every incentive to get something from it. And I think
they kind of, if you look at the points as well, Cov could easily fall out the playoffs.
Yeah, they could.
You've got 8th, 7th, who are both on 57, and then obviously you got West Brom in 6th on 57. 3 teams on 57. That if they lose this game, you know they could be out of the playoffs. So it's a massive game for them as well, isn't it?
Well, they're getting 2 big fixtures out of the way, aren't they? Obviously, they lost to us, and this is the second one in a row that it's a real tough test for them.
Well, they had Sunderland before that as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And they beat Sunderland, didn't they? 3 convincingly.
Dismantled them, didn't they? Yeah.
Came back from a disappointing game against Derby. At home, beat Sunderland. The different animal at home. And hopefully that's the case on Saturday.
Yeah, I think this is It's a big one for us, this Jim, innit? I think
Sheffield United aside, that's our toughest game of the season for us. For us to go to the CBS.
I think it was the first. I think it also was Sheffield United's biggest game aside from you.
It was, yeah. That's fair to say.
But Jim just agreed with me. What's happened? Got 1-0, Burnley the written all over it. Score early and sit back. It does stink of that, doesn't it? Brownhill in the 3rd minute. Cov 0, Burnley 1. Burnley made Bristol City look like a pub team and they drew it. Yeah, you're not really spoken about that Bristol game, mate, because obviously it was the script was flipped a little bit, wasn't it? You know, you had Sheffield United sort of struggling a little bit against Bristol City, and then you played them and kind of just, battered them really, didn't you?
Yeah, we were comfortable with a better side. 3-4-0 wouldn't have flattered us. We were really, really good, defended well, attacked really well, had quite a few chances. Unfortunately for us, they all fell to Anthony. I mean, I like Jadon Anthony, as I've just said. I think he's gone under the radar a little bit this season, but he didn't really have his shooting boots on that game. But yeah, we were brilliant. And we made Bristol City look quite poor in that game as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Big one here. Leeds still on the probability scale, apparently with 61% in terms of a win. Oh man, this would help considerably. And then, but the thing is, we can't let up really, because then we got Borough not long afterwards, and it kind of needs to be 2 wins really. But in this period, obviously Leeds have faltered a little bit. Draws going up, losses going up. You guys have maintained it a little bit better. How do we see this one going?
I'm well, it's the wrong thing to say that I'm worried for you, because I'm not. I'm looking forward to the game, to be honest, because I think it doesn't help you that Derby won. Was it last night or night before?
Did they? I don't know.
If you scroll down and look at the table where Luton are, they have to win this game now.
Yeah.
They have to win. So
in all fairness,
at 5 as well. You know, they've picked up recently, Luton.
Yeah, they have.
In all fairness, though, lads, we've had QPR, we've had Portsmouth, and we've had Swansea. Oh, look, little trident there. We've had them all, and we've not picked up a win against any of them, and they've had nothing to play for, really. Yeah. So I don't actually know if that makes much of a difference, even if they didn't have anything to play for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think it's a very dangerous fixture for you, this. I think it could be a draw, you know. It could be a draw.
Yeah.
Do you think if Luton beat you and we both win, do you think that's Leeds done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not with our fixtures. We've still got to play Sheffield United. And
I don't understand. I don't understand why it's such an outlandish thing to say that. Like, we can talk about games. We can talk about games 100%. And that's not to say it's done, by the way. If Leeds go into the playoffs, it's not going to be ideal. But if Leeds go into the playoffs, we have the best team in that playoff structure, but it would be an absolute hammer blow. But I just think psychologically right now, I mean, just see, we look at the table. Your situation there was what? That you both win. So if you both effectively win, we've then got Jeff, you go to 86. If we lost, we're obviously still on 81.
And I'm not saying we will, because it's a ridiculously tough thing. But we could conceivably beat Burnley. So that then you're square again, aren't you? And you go above them.
Or, for example, we win at the weekend with 3 points ahead of Leeds. Excuse me. Then we lose to Derby, and then you guys win at Middlesbrough. Then you go back above us because your goal difference is so much better than ours. So it's not ideal if we win and you lose, obviously. But there's so much can happen, mate.
It's not. You guys have just hit the nail on the head, right? When you were speaking about earlier on, you said that there might be a little bit of a mentality problem with Leeds at this phase of the season. I think there's a lot of, it's because that's a frivolous thing to say. You can't really measure it. But I think when you do measure it, when you look at it, I don't think the squad's been effectively rotated. I know there's certain people who thought that January was a problem for Leeds. I think the keeper's been in there way too long and dropped us points. And I think we've been arrogant to that fact that we can just get away with it. And I just think right now, with the pressure that's on the team as well, I think if they were to lose, let's say at Luton, that's then 1 win in 6. That's becoming a bit of a problem. That is what's becoming more of a problem. And
I think that's a good point, to be fair. I think that's a good point, to be fair.
And I think with you guys as well, if it does become relentless and you are just like, I look at Sheffield United's fixtures, now I just don't see where they let up. And that, look, Jim, you're going to push back on that because you don't want to put that in the ether. I know you love it and you'll bask in it, but you'll think, look, we want to be feet on the floor here. But
yeah, we do.
But I genuinely believe there's many of Sheffield United's fixtures right now where I look at and I think they're going to win that. They're going to win that. And then with Burnley, it's just a resolve at the minute that
Yeah, but think about before the wobble. You looked at all your home fixtures and you were quite comfortable thinking Leeds would win them. So it can change just so quickly.
Of course it can. Of course it can. And that's the thing right now. It's how quickly are the players going to adapt, Jim? How quickly are these players then able to flip the script mentally? Because I feel, and I hate saying this 3-letter word, but I think it's a bit of a rut at the minute. I do think it is like that because I think there's just been so many underperformers in that side. And I think that's fair to say. You know, you even mentioned the likes of Tanaka. I think that's fair over the past month or so. But lads, this has been underperformances since Sunderland. This is not just a recent thing. This is, this has been the Sunderland game. They were comfortable for 75 minutes. We got the win. Brilliant. Sheffield United, as much as it pains me to say it, should have been about 3 or 4-0 up inside the first half. They absolutely battered us. And then we got into that second half and got our little rush of it. Then you look at West Brom. West Brom were really good against Leeds. And we really struggled with their passing lanes, their precision. You know, we really struggled with West Brom. But, you know, it's Swansea played really well against us. They were the better team. QPR, they were the better team. There's just it doesn't feel like it's just a flip of the script thing for me. However, what I will say is if they get 2 wins on the bounce, that's restored confidence a little bit. But I think they need that right now. I don't think it can just be Leeds lose this game at Luton and then you 2 win. I think that becomes a big problem for Leeds United.
Has the Meslier call given you confidence that he might shake things up a little bit more and maybe bring Ramazani or Nonto in? And
I don't think he'll bring Ramazani in. I think he'll bring Nonto in, which I think Darlow coming out and Nonto coming out is big.
Who does Nonto come in for?
Aronson, I think.
Yeah,
Aronson. But it's huge. This weekend's huge for us, lads. I think the pressure is on us. And I was talking about Darlow earlier. They're not going to Alfie Doherty, Clark and such. They're not going to change now. They're not going to think to themselves, well, I tell you what, Ilan Mele is out the firing line, so what's that putting the ball on the keeper? If anything, they're going to put it on as well now, even more, because they're going to think this kid's just come in. There's been a lot of pressure on this position, and it is obviously Carl Darlow, and he's got a lot of experience, but they're going to be thinking to themselves, right, we will add as much pressure. We'll be shooting from distance. We're going to try hammer this goalkeeper right now. And as someone said in the chat, they've lost 1 in 5, Luton. So with a really good win out at Hull last time out. So yeah, for me, I think if we don't win this week and if we lose, which I think was the question, you 2 win, I think we're in big trouble. I do. I think we're in big trouble. But I think if we win, and then if we win Middlesbrough, if we beat Middlesbrough, sorry, I think obviously, and it's a stupid thing to say, but I think we're right back on it. But I don't think you 2 will drop. I now look at Burnley. I think I was about to say Burnley are in the what state, but Burnley are in this sort of momentum right now, and I don't think they're going to be dropping many points. But yeah, I kind of look at the Sheffield United game now and I think it's pivotal. It's absolutely, if we can just keep within distance when you 2 have that game, I think that's the biggest thing for us right now.
Well, I'm in a similar mindset that we want to be 4 points clear of Burnley by the time that game comes around.
Yeah.
We need to be. We need to be, because we can't have it relying on that game. Joe, if you lose and we win, what's your thoughts on? Do you stay in the race?
Obviously it depends on Leeds as well. But when you say we, I presume you mean both of you then. Yeah. Sorry. I won't say it's done, because as we've just said, there's a lot of twists and turns. It'll be very, very difficult for us. But it's not, the most inconceivable thing in the world to say that Burnley can go to Derby and win, and Leeds go to Middlesbrough and lose. I don't know. Who are you playing on Tuesday, Jim?
Millwall at home.
Yeah, you guys could win that, but a draw wouldn't, be the most shocking thing in the world. But I do think you beat them. But so many twists and turns left. Yeah, obviously it wouldn't be ideal, and the majority of the Burnley fan base would obviously lose their heads, because that seems to be what people do on Twitter these days. But it wouldn't be done by any stretch, because, like I said, 3 days later we can go and beat Derby, and then Leeds lose at Middlesbrough, and then we're back level on points with Leeds, and we've got the 2 difficult games out of the way in that case. The 2 more difficult games, should I say, that we're having this little period before obviously we play you.
Yeah.
Score predictions for this one then.
Leeds Luton.
Yep.
1-0.
Yeah, I'm thinking 1-1, and I'm not even doing it to be a hard work. It's just Luton are doing well at the minute. It's a tight ground, kind of. You don't like the early kickoff. You don't like playing in London. You don't like being on Sky. I'm just worried that the Melier thing's giving you all a bit of a boost, to be honest. But 1-1, I think.
Come on, Artis.
Yeah, technically as well, Luton's not in London. Come on, Joe.
Well, same.
That is clutching
What's
at
the
straw.
airport called? What's the airport called?
Yeah, I know, but it's Bedfordshire, isn't it? Come
Is
on.
it Luton, London, or something? I don't know.
But no, I get what you mean. It's anything in and around London is a problem, basically. Then moving on to the best team in world football with the best manager of all time.
We've just done them, haven't we?
It is.
Oh no, that was 3 games ago. Sorry, carry on.
And look at that. We've got actually, according to the win probability Google score, we've actually got apparently more of a win probability against Luton than you have got against Oxford.
That tells you exactly what you need to know, doesn't it? That tells you exactly what you need to know. People not giving Sheffield United the credit.
Well, no one. That's it, and that's why you rally against it, don't you? Good
Correct.
old Blades.
That's why the underdogs. Why we're the underdogs.
Media scrutiny leads the media darlings.
Correct. Always has been.
Wildest boys. They're going to go against the grain and win.
You know it. It'll be on the wall. Leeds are 100% getting promoted, remember? 100% playing in the Premier League. Cheers, Daniel.
Scott Parker was asked about that today, and I thought it'd be interesting to see what he said. But in typical Scott Parker fashion, he played a straight bat and refused to.
He said, "How am I looking?"
he said, "Do you like my Bladigan?"
Yeah, he says, "What do you think? This cost me 10 grand."
But by the way, have you seen the cost of that cardigan? My goodness, Leeds 3, Luton 1 at 3-0 Blades, surprisingly. From
2-0, I think, for me, going back to the Blades game.
Yeah, I've said 2-0. I think it's 2-0.
We're not having any favours.
Mill victory.
Not having any of our favours. Any favours from our boy, Gary Rowett, who apparently is now our boy for no particular reason.
Let's not be your boy.
No, Tom Bradshaw does nothing. I don't think so. So this stinks of a Ben Brereton, a Diaz 1-0 goal win. Whatever, can't speak anymore. It's been over an hour. And then, so from what you guys are saying, so from your league table, that would mean, Joe, have you said that Burnley are going to beat Cov?
I did predict.
He intentionally did not say, actually.
No, I can't get a word in edgeways sometimes with you two. I think I went for 2-1 on our show. So I'm gonna go for the same 2-1 to Burnley, but it's very, very tough. It's very tough. Is that game?
Jim, and you think they'll drop points?
I think there's a possibility, yeah. I think there is. And I think if they don't drop points here, then I'm going to be worried because I think it's the toughest game outside of us. And then it all comes to a head at the turf. I'll ask you now, though, Joe, if I offered you a point at Turf Moor against us now, would you take it?
It would depend on the situation with the league table.
I'm offering it now. That's why I'm offering it now rather than offering you it.
No.
Okay.
If us two, because like I said before, we're in the situation now where all 3 teams are so good, draws aren't good enough anymore.
No, they're not.
You can't be taking draws. If we are both 4 points ahead of Leeds, gentleman's handshake, take the 1-1, go on to the top 2, leave Leeds in the playoffs. But
sorry, Leeds, but yeah, that's 100% how it's going. Ball draw, 0-0, Burnley special.
Mike's in the building as well. Let's get those likes up. Over 600 watching, least we can do. Cheers, appreciate that, Mike.
Nice one, Mike.
Slapping a like on the video. Everybody, it just means that videos are ranked a little bit higher, which helps a hell of a lot.
I'd also like to thank Conor at putting Battle Lines out same time as I released the video tonight. So after this, if you want to go over to Blades Ramble, watch our video.
As if this is just a random time for Battle Lines to be out every week.
Very true, very true. It is actually me and Conor responding to tweets and comments, which might be pertinent to the Melier news today. So there you go.
Yeah, it should have been updated, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we should have done an update. We can do a part 2, mate, if you want to do it.
I don't think we'll be able to censor that, though, will we?
No, we won't. No.
Okay. Any final words, Joe? Your side? Joe, say anything? It feels like you're a bit. It feels like you want to let a few things out, mate, before we.
Yeah, it does. You feel.
Do you want to say something to Jim? Something to the chat? Do you want to just punch your screen, mate? What do you want to do?
No, I'm chilled now. I joined the stream late, and Jimmy, for some reason, decided to give me a barrage of abuse, and I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure what I've done to Jimmy to make him constantly create these false narratives surrounding me, and hating Sheffield United for some reason, which
Definitely
I
hate Sheffield United.
Well,
I like you, mate. That's the most important thing.
I don't hate Sheffield United. And Footy Fanatic, thank you for that. You are now my second favourite blade behind. I won't say on it. I'll say it in the WhatsApp later.
I know what you're going to say.
I stopped. See, I'm not that much of a bellend. I stopped short of being a mega bell. But yeah, I'm just looking forward. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I've got tickets to Coventry. I'm going. I think it's going to be a good game, no matter what the result is. And I really do think like we have a point now where if we win that match, then majority of people will start taking Burnley a lot more seriously than what they have been doing.
Joe's making a serious point, and you're putting jokes up about Chris Wilder.
I just find it funny how Ray's just come on and just put a blanket statement on like that. There's no like, it's just a statement. Chris Wilder's got a big head, a massive head, he says.
What happens when you get awarded manager at year?
Someone asked that question earlier in the chat, didn't they? I don't know if you talked about it before we went on. Like, who would be the manager of the year out of these three? And to be fair, not that I want to inflate Jim's head anymore.
I agree with you.
Don't do it.
I agree with you, Joe.
It's got to be Daniel Farker, I think.
This Melier move is genius.
Exactly that.
Genius.
Absolute genius from Farker.
Anyway, Jim doesn't like it when you call him ham face. So you got to be careful.
It's disrespectful.
Right. Okay. So at the end of the day, that would mean if Jim thinks that Leeds dropping points and Burnley are dropping points, that would mean that if it is a point
Blades winning by any chance.
If it is a point apiece, that means us and Burnley stay at the same point. We're both on 82 and Leeds still in second, just hanging on. And then Sheffield United go to 86 points.
5 points clear.
5 points. No. Accrued points. Accrued points, it's 7 points.
Oh, well. Accrued points is 6. Real points is 4, I think.
And yeah, so a bit of a rough weekend. I've head and heart. I've got Leeds. This is always going to be a tough game for me, but my heart.
What team are you and Parag picking? Come on. Who's going to win?
I'm good. I'll have a word with him, but we'll decide.
Yeah. Make sure you
decide who we drop him. By the way, that's going to be said before the stream, before the contest.
I'm pleased you finally got through to Farker, though.
Finally, at long last. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Leeds win.
For everything you've said over the last week, I was not expecting that. Your head well and truly fallen off, and then you've just gone, yeah, we'll win.
I'm not saying. I said that was kind of with my heart. My head is a 1-1 draw. My head is a 1-1 draw.
Has the Melier thing swayed you a little bit?
Can I just say on that, I do think that the 10 outfield players, there is serious underperformers out there, like we've said, Jim. So it's not just about Elan Melier. It's not just about the goalkeeper Darlow coming in. I don't think that's just going to refine all the problems we've got outfield. That's my worry. So
what happens now if he gets a tight hamstring, for example? Have you got a third keeper that you can step in?
Alex Cairns.
You said earlier.
Remember Alex Cairns back in the day? Heard of Alex Cairns? Yeah. Just a lower league keeper, but shove him in if he's fine. I don't care. I'd have Jim in net right now, to be honest. Wait and see what happens.
Don't know about that. He'd definitely chuck it in, mate, and then cackle, and then run off and slag me off on way off.
I never slag you off, Joe. Just your opinions are useless, that's all.
As soon as I came in, all right, lads. Oh, here he is. It's Sheffield United. Then he exhaled all over his microphone.
It must be awful for the listeners because we both do that. I've got a wheeze and so has Jim.
It's a bit muttly, isn't it?
It is a bit muttly. Yeah, so I've got us on. So I've got Blades winning, I've got Burnley winning, and Leeds winning. So it's
you've changed your tune on Burnley because when we met up, I remember I said Burnley win 1-0. Jimmy said we'd lose 2-1 or something. I think
about right.
The vote came to you and you said we'd lose that match.
I was being Geneva.
I've got to be that middle, Anna. I've got to be that middle.
Geneva. Subscribe to the Conor McGilligan channel.
Yeah, exactly right. Geneva.
That's kind of where I'm at with it, really. But yeah, I was just trying to be there. Jim's the thing is, when we met up in person, Jim's got Sheffield winning every single match.
No, not true. I've got to join it Turf Moor, I think.
6 out of 7 then, to be fair. So I had to make it slightly, fair or more fair.
We've got to be realistic about it.
Who wins? But Ian's just said, who wins Burnley versus Blunt? Right now, what's your answer?
Draw.
Oh, draw.
1-0 Burnley.
And what do you really think? Because I don't actually think it'd be a draw. I think we'll beat you, but
1-0 Burnley.
all right.
I don't know if I've mentioned it, but we did win at Bramall Lane.
This isn't true, is it? If this is true, I'll be really excited.
No, it's not true.
No,
there are no fresh injury concerns according to Scott Parker today. So unless this commenter has inside information that even Scott Parker wasn't aware of 6 hours ago. Well, if he has, then it's true. Yeah, then nothing we can do. Edwards is out. We're finishing third, potentially even fourth if Edwards is out.
Final question before we wrap it up, which has been my final question about 15 times.
You don't have to ramble on you.
Playoffs.
Subscribe to the Blade Rumble.
Playoffs do shameless. Playoffs do each does like I would say if Leeds were into the playoffs, we'd struggle. Jim, what are your thoughts on if Sheffield went in there and Joe if Burnley went in there?
I still think we'll struggle. But I do think there's a big quality drop. Other than Sunderland, I think there's a big quality drop off from the top three. Sunderland could cause any team problems on any day, so I wouldn't count them out. Obviously, I think whoever drops into third plays Sunderland at Wembley, if I'm honest. And then it's a shootout, but I wouldn't want to even chance it because particularly for Leeds and Sheffield United, who've been top two for the majority of the season, to drop in at this stage would be devastating. Whereas Burnley, I think, are not prepared for it, but sort of they haven't got automatic yet sort of under their belt. So yeah. I think they would fare better in the playoffs than us because it's not as much of a kick to be third.
Yeah.
Joe?
Okay.
Yeah, I think all three teams are more than capable of winning the playoffs, whoever drops down. I think Sheffield United will just do a professional job on everybody, as they've pretty much done for the last 6 months. And obviously they were fantastic against Coventry. Leeds are more than capable of winning the playoffs. As I've said before, I still think they've got the best squad and starting 11 in the division. But I think if Leeds fall into the playoffs, there's obviously the fact that you've been first for a very long time until recently, and then dropping out of the top two, and then there's all the falling apart. The noise surrounding you falling apart again, if you drop out of the top two, will be deafening. And I think that will then end up playing on your minds, and then you might end up losing in the final again, or even the semis, depending on who you play. But you've got a team capable of winning it, definitely.
Got a team capable of winning league. I think we all have, to be honest. So it's just it would be such an injustice if all three didn't go up this season because we've been so much better. But, it could happen, couldn't it?
I think the only one that I kind of look at and think fair play is probably Sunderland, where I'm like, do you know what, fair play? But yeah, I think we've all been that good this season. It'd be a shame, to be honest. And I'm really upset that Burnley are really catching us up on this goal difference, which I actually can't believe is happening right now with how far away we were. Right, Jim's got a video out. Make sure you go check it out. Joe has done the Turfcast pod as well. Joe, is that on your channel right now, mate, for the viewers to go?
Yeah, it went up around 4 p.m. You can watch it on YouTube or listen on the podcast, a pre-game show with a Coventry fan ahead of this weekend.
And guys, all do me a favour. Everyone on here, make sure you subscribe to both channels. Both top lads putting out top content as well. Turfcast pod with Joe, always a really, really good listen. Very professional standard as well. Jim Bob, absolutely the same. And I'm sure everybody is here. Subscribe to Jim as well. We have got on my channel as well a nice little video, the second channel with Jim Bob, discussing the fixtures.
On my own second channel, am I?
You have, mate. You've made second. You've made second and first. That's how quick you are.
Roll your second channel as well. Absolutely.
The second channel's great. Thank you very much.
It is actually, yeah. If I'd have known it were going on there, I'd have been a lot nicer.
Yeah, so make sure you have a go at Footy Fanatic. I know you like Joe, really. There you go. Turfcast is actually good, to be fair.
It's class,
Joe, we're going to give you a cuddle after this. Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you in a bit.
Up the blade.
I'm going straight away.
Up the blade.